Oh my goodness, Susan, where's the outdoor unit of the air conditioner?
Well, for someone like you, Emily, having an AC is too luxurious, and you don't really need it, huh?
Said my mill, Susan, who disposed of the outdoor unit of the AC during the scorching summer days while I was at work, without saying anything to me. You're saying I have to endure this scorching heat without AC?
Of course, you do. Well, I'm off to Singapore tomorrow, so take care of the house, will you?
Seemed so thrilled to be able to harass me, she left the house carrying a large suitcase, skipping along the way. Remember this, I'll make sure you regret it. 3 days later. Susan, having returned from her trip, frantically called me nonstop.
You didn't. You couldn't have.
Yes, exactly. You brought this upon yourself.
I was wrong. I'm so sorry.
She cried out in madness. My name is Emily, currently 28, working as a caregiver. My husband, Jake, is 30 years old. He works as a doctor in a welfare facility. Our meeting goes back 5 years. Jake was incredibly serious at work and kind to both the patients and staff, making him very popular. Back in the time, I was 23 and a new employee there. I made a lot of mistakes and got scolded by my seniors often, so I often wondered if it's okay for someone like me to keep working here, and it got me down. It was Jake who approached me during those times. He quietly came over to my side.
What's wrong? Tired? A little sweet might cheer you up.
Is this?
Yes, candy. It's delicious.
Like a friendly aunt from Chicago, Jake would always have candies coming out of his lab coat. His playful demeanor made me laugh despite myself.
You look cute when you laugh. Hang in there, newbie.
With that, he waved and went back to his work. Could any woman not fall for such a kind and playful doctor? I fell for him so quickly that I couldn't help but think I was in love. Being straightforward when I liked someone, I aggressively pursued him. He eventually gave in to my push, and our relationship started. And a year later, Jake proposed to me, and we decided to get married. I'm looking forward to a happy married life. However, when we went to his parents' house to meet my future in-laws before our marriage.
Actually, my mom is a bit eccentric. If she says something rude, I'm sorry for that in advance. Leave her words alone.
Jake had warned me beforehand. What kind of person is she? Feeling anxious, I rang the doorbell. Immediately, Jake's parents came out.
Oh, Jake, it's been a while. Are you well? No health issues?
Yay, it's been a while. I'm good. How about you two?
We're fine. It's great to see your face after so long.
Am I invisible to her? That's how much Jake's mother ignored me. Hello. Nice to meet you. Summoning up the courage, I approached Susan, and with a furrowed brow, she finally turned her gaze towards me. But she didn't say anything in response. What? Ignored. And then, as soon as she turned her gaze back to Jake, her expression brightened up.
Come on, Jake. Come in, come in.
It seemed like Susan was only interested in Jake. I was instantly disheartened by her light jab. When we entered the house, my future Phil, George, was also there. My name is Emily. I'm here to formally introduce myself since I'm marrying Jake.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming all this way. Don't be so formal. Relax and make yourself at home.
George said with a warm smile. Unlike Susan, he made an effort to engage me in conversation and ease the atmosphere. I thought how calm and kind he was, just like Jake. However, Susan showed no interest in me afterwards. She only spoke to me once to say, "You have such a plain face," and didn't try to engage in any further conversation. Jake and George somehow mediated, and the day came to an end, but I was still feeling uneasy. That night, I confided in Jake. "Do you think your mom hates me? I just couldn't talk to her well."
It's not like that. My mom is just sad about her only son getting taken away. Emily, you did nothing wrong.
"Really? I'm still worried."
Don't worry. Even after we're married, we won't have to interact with my parents that much.
Since our home was far from my in-laws, we'd only meet for major holidays. I decided to accept the occasional interaction. Despite the ups and downs, Jake and I managed to get married. Now, we have a 3-year-old daughter, Lucy, and we're living happily. But one day, a comment from Jake disrupted our peaceful life.
My dad's care has been tough on Mom. She wants us to live with them for a while. What do you think?
2 years ago, George became paralyzed from the waist down due to an accident. It was sad to think of such a kind man in that state. Susan is taking care of George on her own now, but both of them are at the age of 55, not that young anymore. I heard from Jake that George can't work anymore, and I knew Susan's burden has become heavier. Susan, struggling to provide care on her own, found life becoming challenging both physically and financially. It seems she tearfully pleaded with Jake to move in and help out. Despite my reservations about Susan, we couldn't just leave her be after such a heartfelt plea. "Okay, I'm a caregiver, so if there's anything I can help with, I'll pitch in. Plus, I love your dad and want to support him."
Really?
"Yes, just let them know that I have work and taking care of Lucy on my plate. I'm happy to help within reasonable limits."
Of course. If anything's too much, just tell me.
So, we quickly started living with my in-laws.
Emily, I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
I'm so sorry. It's all because of my accident.
The two of them apologized deeply to us. "No need to apologize. I'm a professional caregiver. Let me know if you need anything."
Thank you so much.
Really? Thank you.
George's demeanor was as gentle as ever, but unlike at the beginning of our marriage, Susan seemed hesitant and modest, which made me feel relieved that perhaps we could manage to get along after all. But soon, Susan showed her true colors. When I got home from work,
Emily, hurry up and make dinner. I'm starving. George needs his diaper changed. Is this place even clean?
Susan started ordering me around for meals, cleaning, and caregiving, while she frequently went out. George stayed in his room, unaware of her behavior. And with Jake being a busy doctor, most of the time at home was spent with Susan, Lucy, and me. Another issue. That is because Susan has quite a few likes and dislikes. She dislikes raw fish, eggplants, bell peppers, and cheese. Even with the same ingredients, she can eat tomato dishes or ketchup, but not raw tomatoes. There are many specific preferences, and I can't remember them all, so I started making notes. Eating according to Susan's preferences leads to an unbalanced diet, so after preparing our meals, I have to make a separate menu for her. It's surprisingly stressful. Moreover, since Susan dislikes sweet bread, I need to prepare breakfasts with scrambled eggs, bacon, toast, and coffee. I need to make additional meals for Susan for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is quite a burden considering I'm also working and taking care of a child. I decided I couldn't keep this up without falling apart, so I asked her for help. Susan, I'm taking care of a kid and working. Could you help a bit with meals or laundry?
Huh? What kind of spoiled talk is that? You're just a caregiver, right? My son is a doctor. You're not even in the same league, and you can't take care of a doctor's mother.
I couldn't understand her logic at all. It's infuriating how she looks down on caregivers. And what does being a doctor's mother have to do with anything? Didn't Jake tell you before we moved in that we'd share the household chores?
Geez, you're so loud. A daughter-in-law should not be so cheeky.
Susan covered her ears with both hands, saying loud, loud, refusing to listen to me. She always waits until George and Jake are not around to complain or make snide remarks. It seems she doesn't want them to find out she's bullying me. But I can't stay silent anymore. So I decided to talk to Jake about it. Your mom is dumping everything on me. She won't listen to anything I say. Can you at least ask her to prepare her own breakfast during the busy morning hours?
She's really troublesome. Sorry for the inconvenience. I'll talk to her right away.
Jake went to talk to Susan immediately. After a while, persuaded by Jake, Susan came to me.
Emily, I'm sorry for the trouble. Jake told me I've been taking advantage of your kindness too much. I'm sorry.
She apologized and promised to start actively helping from tomorrow. Honestly, her sudden compliance made me suspicious. Oh, no, it's okay. It would be great if we could cooperate and live together harmoniously.
Right? Thank you.
The next morning, as promised, Susan got up earlier than usual and prepared breakfast. Seeing her like that, Jake and I were relieved, hoping we could finally live together in cooperation. But a few days later, Jake was on a night shift, not coming home all day. After work and picking up Lucy from preschool, I hurried home to prepare dinner. Then, Susan suddenly stepped on my foot. Ouch! Hey, what are you doing?
Oh my, sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't realize your foot was in such a place,
she said, laughing. How could she not notice my foot? It was clear harassment. You knew my foot was there, didn't you? Did you do it on purpose?
Oh, come on, what an awful thing to say. I would never do such a thing. Someone snitched on Jake, and karma hit back, didn't it?
Susan chuckled. I see. It seems Susan is still angry about that day. The day I talked to Jake about her. I only told the truth.
The worst daughter-in-law ever. You got me scolded by Jake. And don't tell George either. It's complicated, you know. You understand what'll happen if you snitch again, right?
She glares at me with such intensity that it's overwhelming. Okay, I understand.
Humph, good if you do.
I'm so fed up that I can't even come up with a response. If she didn't want it known, she shouldn't have said anything. Well, if stepping on my foot satisfies her, then I try to guess it's fine. However, one day after work, I tried to turn on the AC in my room with the remote. No matter how many times I pressed a power button, it wouldn't turn on. Today is a scorching hot day in August. It's so hot that without air conditioning, you'd get heat stroke.
Mommy, it's so hot.
I'm sorry, Lucy, just a minute, okay? As I was worried that it might be broken, Lucy kept complaining about the heat, saying it's hot, hot. Watching us, Susan for some reason has this smirk on her face. Suspicious. That look on her face, she must have done something. I went to check the outdoor unit on the balcony, suspecting she might have tampered with it. And, believe it or not, the outdoor unit has completely gone. Not just for my room, but the air conditioner units for Lucy's room and the living room have been missing too. However, the units for Jake's room and George's room were still in place. There was only one person who could do such a thing. Susan. Susan, where's the outdoor unit of the air conditioner? I was furious. This is just too much. Unbelievable.
For someone like you, having an AC is too luxurious, and you don't really need it, huh? So today I called a technician to come and pick them up. Meanwhile, Jake earns enough to afford luxuries.
Such a no apparent reason for doing this. And she even took the one from Lucy's room. Lucy is only 3 years old, and although she sleeps with me, she always plays in her own room. You're saying we have to get through this blazing heat without AC?
Obviously, right? Well, I'm off to Singapore with friends, so take care of the house. Enjoy the heat with no AC at home, if you can.
Saying that, Susan left George, me, and Lucy behind. Seemed so thrilled to be able to harass me, she left the house carrying a large suitcase, skipping along the way. Remember this, I'll make sure you regret it. Susan's trip was supposed to be for 2 nights and 3 days, so she wouldn't be back for the next 3 days. During that time, I took a certain action. 3 days later, Jake, Lucy, George, and I had all left the in-laws' house. Here's the lowdown. My younger brother had bought a condo at a young age, but he's currently on an overseas assignment and not living there. Since he wasn't planning to return to the United States for a while, I asked him to arrange for us to stay there until we find our next home. A frantic barrage of calls came from Susan upon her return.
Emily, what's going on? Why is nobody home?
Susan, it seemed like you really didn't want to live with me, so we left the house.
What? Why would you do that? What about Jake and Lucy? And George isn't there either.
Jake, Lucy, and of course George, we all left together.
That's impossible. Jake and George would never do such a thing. And all the furniture and appliances are gone. What's going on?
Susan was raging. Take that. Yes, during the 3 days before Susan returned, I revealed all the harassment she had done to me to Jake and George. The one who was most angry was George.
You know, she can be really, even with little kids around. Unbelievable. Emily, I'm really sorry.
No, it's not your fault at all, George.
I have a good idea.
Are you sure? Should we really do something like that?
Yes, I've made up my mind.
And so, George sold all the furniture and appliances from the in-laws' house to a thrift shop. Most of them were old and not needed anymore, according to him. More than anything, he wanted to make Susan regret her actions. With George's suggestion, by the time Susan returned, the in-laws' house turned to be empty, with no one there and nothing left. Given the circumstances, it's not surprising that Susan is calling in a panic.
Did you really tell everything to George and Jake?
Yes, that's right. Both George and Jake were quite upset.
Didn't I tell you not to tell anyone?
It's your own fault. Susan probably knows that George can be quite intimidating when he's angry, and once he decides on something, he never backs down. Susan panicking, realizing it would be bad if George found out. Then George, standing beside me, said, "Emily, let me talk to her." So I handed over the phone.
Susan, You've done quite a number. Seems like you've been giving Emily a hard time.
No, it's not like that. She's lying.
Really? Emily's lying. I can hardly believe that. And Susan, who were you traveling abroad with?
What kind of question is that? Friends, what does it have to do with anything right now?
I was even puzzled by George's questioning.
Friends, huh? You're a liar. I know that much.
What? What do you know?
The person you went traveling with was a man, wasn't it? I've been suspicious of your frequent outings and consulted a lawyer friend. Turns out there's a lot of evidence.
That's a lie.
With that, I want a divorce.
Jake and I, who hadn't been told anything, were shocked beyond belief.
Divorce.
Yes, that's right. You seem to have a good time taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move. I can't go on with someone so heartless, so I decided to get divorced. I've already filled out the divorce papers. You can find it in my room.
To think Susan was having an affair at 55, this was news to me. That's why she was going out so often.
I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Susan cried out in madness. But George's decision seemed very firm, and her cries didn't reach him.
I've already decided. Oh, and all that furniture and appliances were too luxurious for you, right? So I got rid of them.
George echoed the words Susan had once said to me. Hearing those familiar words, Susan was momentarily speechless.
Please wait. I'm sorry.
Susan was frantically apologizing, but George hung up, ignoring her words. It seems her actions were unforgivable to him. Jake was shocked by his parents' sudden divorce, but seemed to accept it as inevitable. Soon after, Susan and George divorced quickly. Despite her cries, "I couldn't manage without you," Jake and George, neither of them would ever listen to her again. As for Jake, he had repeatedly told her to stop bullying me, but she didn't. So he seemed to reach his limit. Given George's situation, it was impossible for him to forgive her for neglecting him and having an affair. Left by the two guys she loved, Susan was alone in that now empty house. Rumor has it that her other man was also married, making it a case of double infidelity. She's being sued for damages by George and the wife of her other man. It's all her own fault. As for us, we decided to build a house. When we told that to George, he offered a significant contribution of money from his savings.
I've caused both of you so much trouble. I am truly sorry. This is the least I can do. Live happily, the three of you.
It's not about compensation. You've done nothing wrong, George, and it's not just the three of us. Let's live together, all four of us. George, surprised at first, seemed very moved by my words.
So have you say such things? Jake has found himself a wonderful wife.
See, Emily is a great wife. As she said, let's all live together, Dad.
Thank you. Really, thank you.
Thus, the four of us began living together. A year has passed. After that, George continued his rehabilitation with determination, not wanting to be a burden on us. He can now walk and use the restroom by himself. Today, Lucy turns 4. Lucy, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We all celebrated her birthday. It was truly a happy time. I believe such happy days will continue forever.